Hi guys, welcome to another episode, Charlie Talks MUFC. This episode I'll be talking about the absolute disaster that was against Spurs in the Europa League final. Finishing up the league season and a little bit of transfer news as well and bits about the club. Awfully low feeling after Wednesday night against Spurs. Two teams who were very, very poor, separated by a shit goal, basically. No two words to say about it. We give the ball away in midfield. We don't stop the cross. Luke Shaw doesn't stop Brennan Johnson going in front of him. Doesn't get in front of his man, sorry. And then Onana's just beaten at his near post by a bouncing ball. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, I mean, the only good players from that game really were Yoro, Maguire. Ahmad was the most attacking threat, but he got outmuscled by being physically outmatched when Richarlison came back to help out Udogie on the left-hand side. So all of a sudden there was a 2-v1 against him and none of the other players stepped up. And unfortunately, they didn't play well enough to win the game. So, yeah, very disappointing. Not just because you lose the final, but it's the case of you've got no European football for next season. There's also big financial implications there for the club as well. I think United could lose up to about nearly 100 million alone for not being in the Champions League for next season. All the deals of Adidas and the revenue that you would make from being in the Champions League as opposed to Europa League or any other European competition. So yeah, very, very disappointing. And unfortunately, if you put all your eggs in the Europa League basket, these things can happen. But yeah, very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. United finish off the Premier League season, beating Villa 2-0 on the final day. Game that I don't think any United fan was really bothered if they won or lost. To be fair, the goal that Villa had disallowed, at the end of the day, it was poor goalkeeping by Bayern there, and he got bailed out by the referee. And Villa fans have a right to be reprieved by it, but unfortunately for Villa, but fortunately for United, the referee blew the whistle and United capitalised up the other end. Through Ahmad and then an Eriksen penalty late on. But anyway, in other news, we've seen that Matheus Cunha from Wolves has been given here we go by Fabrizio Romano on deal to United. I think United will be activating his release clause, 62.5 million. They'll be paying it in instalments. So hopefully that'll be completed very shortly and provide us with a bit of bite and a bit of attacking know-how in the final third, because let's face it, the attacking talent at United this season has been absolutely dire. Absolutely dire. There's a reason why United finished down in 15th this season and not in the top half. Haaland barely scores. I don't think even Haaland hit double figures this season across all competitions. That says it all. Xerxes not a goal scorer. Garnacho's too wasteful. Rashford's been out on loan for the second half of the season, and when he did play, he wasn't very good for us. Anthony didn't do a lot for us this season. He went out on loan second half season. So the goals basically came through from Bruno Fernandes. That's it. No one else really made a dent in it, to be honest. But yeah, so hopefully with Matheus Cunha coming in, I think he scored about 15 league goals. I might be wrong, for Wolves in a Wolves side that's not known for creating loads and loads of chances. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but so hopefully Premier League proven talent. It can do with the physicality of the league. That's one thing we've lacked in is physicality, and Ruben Amorim has mentioned that plenty of times in his press conferences, that United have lacked physicality to compete in the Premier League. does seem United also looking to be after Liam Delap. I think he has a £30 million release clause now that Ipswich have been relegated. And United also seems to be interested in Brian Mbeumo of Brentford. So again, more Premier League proven talents that United seems to be targeting, as opposed to going into European leagues for technical players, more physical, robust players. But as I say, in other news, I've had it confirmed that Lindelof, Eriksson, and Johnny Evans are all leaving the club. I think Lindelof and Eriksson's contracts are expiring. I think Johnny Evans is also expiring. Who knows? Maybe Evans will retire. He's got a very impressive trophy haul, hasn't it? A few Premier Leagues, FA Cup, Club World Cup, 2 League Cups. I mean, he won a lot of trophies in his career in these 2 spells at United. And the last one of the Ferguson era. According to reports, Garnacho has also been told by David Ornstein that he can find a new club, or was instructed by Ruben Amorim, that he could look for a new club, especially as it seems that after Garnacho's comments after the final saying, I played 19 minutes and scored important goals going up to the final and given 20 minutes. And to be fair, I understand what he's saying, because personally I wouldn't have gone with Mount and Amad Diallo as the number 10s for the final. I'd probably have gone with Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes with Ugarte and Casemiro in midfield. But, as you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. But, here we are. But by the sounds of it, Ruben Amorim is not too happy with his comments for that, and he's basically had enough. So I think for that, he's decided, done with it. You can look elsewhere and bring players. Players through for this squad now. And if it's the case we do sell him, hopefully we do get a decent fee. I know there was talks back in January for him to go about 60 million. That fee will probably be lowered now that Amorim has told that he basically doesn't want him in the club. But now it depends on whether or not the club's demands for him. So will you get 40 million? Maybe at a push 50 million. But we'll have to wait and see. And obviously with United not getting European football, that does hinder the finances. So United will have to sell to bring in more players. Obviously the Cunha deal wasn't dependent on that by the sounds of it. So players like Sancho, Antony, Marcus Rashford, someone maybe even selling Rasmus Højlund, who is not it really. Let's be honest, he's not got it going forward. And apparently Al Hilal are looking to offer in the region of about 100 million or 80 million, offering a large fee for Bruno Fernandes, which the club will think about if it does come through. Personally, I wouldn't let Bruno Fernandes go. He's basically the best player in the team. Without him, we would have been relegated. Simply as. But who knows? Hopefully United can get a lot of players who are not good enough for this club out of the door, get some funds in, and use those funds to bring in hungry players who want to play for the club or good enough to play for the club, or even bring through youth players who are also good enough to play for the club as well. But yeah, so we'll see on that regards. But at the moment, United are off to Malaysia for 2 friendlies. I think one out in the Far East. I know there's one in Malaysia and one elsewhere. I'm not too sure off the top of my head now. So a couple of friendlies which will bring in a bit of revenue for the club as well by the sounds of it, boost the finances and help comply with the PSR regulations as well by the sounds of it. But hey ho. So it's going to be a busy summer for United by the sounds of it, with outgoings and hopefully incomings as well. I'll look to do a video at some point as well on players who I would let go and who I'd keep around in the club for next season. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys, for watching as well, sorry. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.